Morning everyone, Kathy here, and today I'm doing an update to my Hoya Leca experiment video from about 10 months, 11 months ago somewhere. If you look back about I think 5 or 6 videos ago, it was late last fall, and I did had new cuttings that I had ordered of my Hoya Mathilde and Hoya Rebecca, and I put one in soil and I put the other in leca, and I put them in my kitchen on wall planters. And actually, right there is where I had them. So I had them in these wall planters under lights, and they didn't really do well. I should say this one, this is the Hoya Mathilde, and it did the worst. I almost killed this plant. What I ended up doing eventually was taking it out, chopping it into a bunch of starts. I think I had like 5 starts, and regrowing them. I sold the pot of 3 and I kept this one. So this one has done really well. I put it in the spring in my south-facing living room window. It took a long time to get going. I shrunk the pot size down for it, and then it started to take off better. So I let it grow in the tiny pot for a while, and then I upgraded it. This is still not like a huge pot, but this one is in soil. So it didn't seem to like the leca. I don't know whether I could transfer it back to leca again at this point. I'm not taking any chances. I figure it's happy in soil. We're going to leave it in soil and see what it does. Now, so this is all pretty much how it's grown since spring. Not a ton of growth, but I'm thinking maybe next spring and summer it will really take off. So right now I've got it still in a south-facing window, but up on my plant shelf. So it's kind of got filtered light because it's kind of shaded by my curtains a bit. So that one is not doing too bad. I do love the tiny little leaves on this. They're really cute. Oops, you can see it's just got the tiniest bit of speckling to them. And anyway, I like this little Hoya. But my star attraction is my Hoya Rebecca, and that's why I wanted to do this update right now, because she is like putting on a show. So we'll move this one out of the way and bring over. Now this one did okay on the wall. It just wasn't growing well on the wall. So I moved it in front of my south-facing window. If I could pull back here, you can just see, like, here's my hand for reference. I had a little start like this. Just one tendril. Since I put it in front of the window early spring and through the summer, and this is also in leca, it has like exploded. And look, it is flowering. I mean, isn't that the most beautiful? And the smell of the flowers, the fragrance, to me, it smells like jasmine. It's just gorgeous. So I have this flower. I have another flower here that's coming along. If I turn this around on the bottom here, hopefully you can see I've got another flower there that's opening up. I have peduncles all over the place. Like, you can see it. There's one. I mean, they're kind of hidden. You really have to look in there, but I've got a good maybe 5 or 6 peduncles that are hiding. I have some back in here at the top. Oh, here's one here, and I think, oh yes, here's one down here. Here's another one. So this is my first ever Hoya that I have gotten to bloom. And like I said, it's in leca. One thing with leca, you do have to add nutrients, and this is what I use. It's this bloom, and it comes in 3 parts. And I don't have my glasses on, or I would read you what each one is. But you've got the bloom, grow and micro. It's three parts. And what I do is I have these, I have these big containers that I had distilled water in. And all I do is I add a teaspoon of each to this whole big container. And just of tap water. And I let it sit. And whenever I need to flush and fill my plants, that's what I use. So they get nutrients every time in their water. And like I said, it's just grown like crazy. See, look at all these tendrils. So like 3 weeks ago, we got back from a vacation, and I had all these tendrils coming out, and I was like, and I had a flower blooming, and I was like offended at how well my plant did while I was away. But so I tucked all the tendrils back in, and then since then it's shot out even more tendrils. Like this one this morning, where I have it sitting, is right next to my Scindapsus pictus exotica, and this little guy was like trying to hook on to that plant, so I had to pull him out. I don't know whether I'm gonna let them grow and just do their thing, or tuck them back in, or take cuttings off of them, excuse me, and start new plants. I am not quite sure what I'm going to do, but it's obviously very happy. So that is my Hoya Rebecca that I moved from the wall to a southern facing window. Now, since fall is here now, I kind of actually I moved it away from the south facing window. I have it still under grow lights. It's still in a spot that's going to get bright indirect light for the winter. But I figure it's probably not going to grow much during the winter. But looking at those tendrils, who knows? I could be entirely wrong. But with a number of peduncles on it, I figure I'm going to have flowers for quite a while, hopefully. But one more shot of that. Isn't that just... That's so pretty. Love it. Love, love, love it. So that's the Hoya Rebecca. There's my Mathilde next to it. Now I'm going to show you one more plant that was not on that video, but it was on an unboxing video I had got from the Painted Leaf. And I bought a small planter about this size with a face on it. And then I had this little Hoya Curtisii that was in a tiny little, maybe 2-inch pot. I mean, it was just the tiniest little plant. And this one I have also put in Leca, and it's in a west-facing window. It's right above my kitchen sink, actually. And look at, if you go back and look at that video, you'll know what this started out as. I mean, it was just the teeniest little thing. It was, it was like this, it was nothing to it. And it has exploded all over this little trellis. I don't see peduncles on it yet. So we'll see what it does over the next year or so. It has lots of these little aerial roots though. And it's going all over the place. But you can see it's in Leca, and it's happy. It's growing really well in my west-facing window. And just, I mean, look at these adorable, cute little leaves. And they have a texture. It's almost like maybe a really fine sandpapery texture. It's really just a little bit of roughness to it. Really, just a little bit. But they're just like the cutest little leaves. I mean, look at this tiny, tiny leaf. I'm kind of partial to these tiny little leaves. I just love them. So anyway, that's my Curtisii in Leca. Like I said, no special treatment. About once every few weeks, I rinse and refill the Leca. And that's kind of why I got into Leca, is because I didn't want something that was going to need care every week as far as watering. Because we do have a tendency once a year to go on vacation, sometimes for a week, sometimes for 2 weeks. And I didn't want anything that was going to suffer if it didn't get water every week. So with the Leca, I find it does really well, because these little clay pebbles absorb the water, they hang on to it for a while, So you don't have to tend to them constantly. And it cuts down on pests. I don't have a pest problem with my Leca plants. I really don't with the ones in soil either. I mean, occasionally I'll see a little gnat, but I think you get that with house plants in general. But I do love the Leca. So anyway, there it is. That's my little update on my Leca and soil experiments. You can kind of see for yourself. The soil one, not doing super excellent. I almost killed it, but I got it back by cutting it up into little startings, and I just started over again with it. So hopefully next year it will really do much better. But check out the Lecas. You know, the Lecas are fabulous. So if you're wondering about taking the plunge to Leca, I mean, I recommend it. It's kind of a trial and error as far as what plants will like it, what plants will not. So I've had some that did not do well. Whether that was my fault or not, sorry, I don't know. But anyway, they love it. They love it. And just, you can tell. I mean, for a year-old plant, really, to be flowering, from what I understand with Hoya, is unusual. So this one is obviously doing really well. Anyway, thanks for watching my little update, and I might do another video in another week or so on my plant wall and show you what I did there. But for now, this is it, and I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye for now.